Education Ministry Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh has been outlining some drastic reforms for his sector to ensure better teaching and learning practices for improved outcomes. At a National Education Sector Review Forum here in Accra, Dr. Prempeh expressed displeasure at the quality of education, especially at the basic level, and came very hard on the director of the Ghana Education Service for some of those lapses.
There are issues we have to all think through it. Number one on my list, again, because of Ghana Education Service, I've been asking the questions. I've been asking the questions because I've been asked at the highest level of policy making. And when I was asked that question, I came back and I asked my staff, where is the evidence that what we portend to be doing across the country in language is working? I'm still waiting for the answer because I've been asked. And I need to go back and answer. Because for far too long, Ghana Education Service does what it wants to do without even the center knowledge that it should change. We want the ongoing language policy to meet the prospects of the Ghanaian as a 21st century global citizen. We have 42,000 teachers in this country, I'm told, in early grade teaching. 42,000. We have about 600,000, 650,000 odd children in grade KG4 or KG5 or primary 1. Roughly about 10 to 15 per teacher. But still at primary 2, only 2% of us could read at that proficiency level. Totally unacceptable Ghana Education Service. No wonder CBE comes in and does better than we do. We in the ministry are not going to rest till these things change. And we find out simply the reason. When I asked for what is the pupil standards in this country, we didn't have one. When I asked for a curriculum to address the pupil standards, I was given a draft. And when I asked for a system of assessment, I said, let's wait for TIMSS or PISA. What about the nation's own one? None exist. So if you don't have a pupil standard, you don't have a curriculum, and you don't have an assessment to justify your curriculum, some of us have been down in education for too long, but we seem to be doing the same thing over and over again, and we want better results.
Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh there, while responding to the tasks assigned him, the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Kwesi Opoku-Amankwa, says some measures will be put in place to bridge that gap.
Yes, there are things that we've not done over the years, but we ourselves have realized that. And then there is also, for example, when you talk about supervision, now there is NIB, which is National Inspectorate Board. And this NIB, what they do is that they are taking care of the school inspections. They are also mandated to report to the minister and then also report to government as to what they are doing. So they want to have an independent eye looking at us, telling us that this is what we should have done, this is how you should do it, and things like that. And then we take it up and do it. And then, as I indicated, the leadership and management division that we're creating will now be taking up some of these queries and try to run with that.
Okay, but I just want you to address the totality of it, because the minister came hard on the GES, particularly you, the director, for some loopholes, data collection, the supervision you've mentioned, and other things. In general, what's your response, or is that the case? And what are you doing?
The response is simple. As I've indicated, I've told you the things that we are putting in place, and there are several. You know, there are several. For example, the research that he's talking about. Yet, it is true. When you speak to those on the field and you want some data, they may give you something that may be different from what you have at your end. When you speak to 3 people, somebody in charge of IPPD, about number of teachers, yes, you may get different data from somebody with MS, you know. What we're doing now is to get a division that will be in charge of evaluation, planning, and research. When we get the leadership right, we get curriculum right, we get inspection right, we get teacher education right, we have our teaching learning materials in place. Obviously, the gaps will be closed.
Away from education, let's look at health. Well, today we